Alright, here we go. Right, sorry about that everybody, we're back on. That was just, I know what that was. So basically I was connected to the PlayStation the other night, my 5G broadband, which is connected via Ethernet. It's my own internet basically. That was connected, I was basically using that and it was playing up, so I ended up switching to my home router rather than my 5G router, which is like obviously like for the entire house. And pretty much like I forgot to switch it back, and it's NAT type 3, so it plays up horribly when you're in any sort of like a public server or even a private server, because obviously there's 20 people, the internet sort of like going backwards and forwards. And that's the reason why that disconnection happened, and it actually happened on Thursday, and I forgot to fix it after that. So yeah, I've just quickly done that before qualifying actually finishes, so the race will be uninterrupted now. The problem has been solved. I know exactly what was the problem, and it's all good. But it looks like it's Brandon who'll be starting this one on pole, unless anyone can pull something out of the bag in the final stages qualifying session. You've got Sniper C in second place, 3/10 off of the pace. We've got Bo currently half a second adrift as he comes towards the line. Now can Bo find, well, just over half a second he needs to find? No, he's in the pits, so that's I think going to be that. What about Jam? Is Jam on a lap? Doesn't look like Jam's going to be able to improve either. We've got Brams just coming through the final part of the lap. He's coming into the pits in a second. Glenn is out there, but it's cruising around the final sector, so it's not going to improve either. So I think that's going to be that then, guys. Looks like that is all she wrote here for this qualifying session. And apologies for obviously for missing the last part of that qualifying session. That it was sort of out of my control, but I should have obviously made sure I was on the right internet before starting streaming, and I do apologise for that, guys. But that is that's the qualifying session done. So Brandon and Sniper C on the front row, with Bo and Brad behind them. Only half a second separating the top three, so there's not much separating those guys, and then it all gets a bit strung out from there afterwards. But for sure, I think we're going to have an exciting race. The battle for the podiums, battle for the win is definitely going to be on. I don't think Brandon's going to have an easy run of it, with Sniper C and Bo not too far away, so this is going to be an interesting one. Liam Stacey, hello mate. Hiya mate, where are you? Why aren't you racing tonight? That's Super Striker there for anyone who doesn't know. Liam Stacey, one of the admins alongside Jordan, who we're actually watching at the moment. Qualified P13 did Jordan for tonight. Those are the two guys I mostly communicate with from the league, in regards to the actual, well, anything to do with the admin of the league. But that is that then. So he's working. Oh no, God's sake. Why does work have to get in the way of everything? No, I know that exact feeling. There was a couple of Mondays last season where I wasn't able to be around. Not usually, I don't usually work evenings, but it was just one of those unusual occurrences. But they happen, they do happen. But nonetheless, that is it for qualifying. So yeah, it's a shame that Liam can't make it tonight. Super Striker is quite often a big contender actually in the races, championship contender, race win contender. So his obviously absence will be definitely felt, but it'll be an opportunity for someone else to try and take the plaudits with him not being there. So definitely it's going to be an open goal for some of these guys. I reckon Brandon must be rubbing his hands together here tonight. A huge opportunity for Brandon to get some big points on the board. Do you guys do drop round at all, Liam? Yeah, I reckon you should. It would definitely be a bit fairer. Yeah, it cost you the title. Yeah, I'm not surprised, because I remember about a week before the last race, and I couldn't make it, and I had to message you saying that I wasn't going to make it, and you said you weren't going to make it either. So I thought, well, I don't feel as bad now because I'm not going to be missing a title decider. Yeah, drop round. So basically, some leagues do it, some leagues don't. It takes away from the realism, and it takes away from the authenticity. That's what I don't like about it. But it also means that if you miss, like say, a round or two in a season, like you get to exclude your worst results. So every single driver, regardless of if they made all the races or not, has to discard their worst results. So if you made every single race and your worst result was 8th, then you lose 4 points, or if you have to lose your worst 2 results, which are like 7th and 8th, you'd lose 10 points from your total. So it sort of like level the playing field out a little bit for the guys who have had to miss maybe 2 or 3 races in a season. It would, yeah, sort of even it out a bit. But it's a shame though, because it doesn't look as neat as it would if you just keep the points as they are. I don't know. It's an interesting concept. It kind of works. Never heard of it. No, we did it at Motive, my old league, for a while. Did it on Project Cars too. We've run it. I've seen it used in a few leagues, but it's a bit naff. It has its pros and cons. I mean, there are pros to it for sure. I'm very split on it. I don't like them, but I also think they're kind of necessary. Just that you know as well, our points go down to P15. Excellent. Yeah, I need to brush up on your point system, because that's one thing that I was terrible with last season. I was absolutely horrendous with your point system last season, and I still haven't worked it out. I know that first still gets 25 points and a point extra for fastest lap, but I can't remember where it goes after that. So I do need to have these things to hand, and I will do obviously from a couple of weeks onwards. Once I've got my a new controller, which I still need to get, then that'll be all good. But at the moment it's just me doing the remote play. It is in the channel. Yep, definitely. I will make sure to educate myself. Absolutely, I definitely need to do that. But here we are then, guys. We're on the formation lap here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at the Red Arrows F1 League. It's round 2 of 14 for season 15, and so Brandon here and Sniper C have really made a break for it actually on the formation lap. Bo needs to get a move on, because I think he's definitely dropped behind 10 car lengths. I know that the FIA sometimes do give you a bit of a little bit of breathing room on that rule, but you know, you can't sort of push your luck too much. So Bo better get himself up on the back of these guys as quickly as possible. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting one here tonight. Obviously with Super Striker not here, it's going to be a massive opportunity for Brandon to try and cash in like he did last season, throughout a lot of the season. So for sure he needs to make sure that he can fend off Sniper C, but Sniper C will be looking to be the kamikaze here tonight. Not literally, because obviously he would probably get penalised if he was. P1 25, P2 20, P3 18. Oh, okay, and then is it 1 point down for each position after that, I'm guessing? Must be, surely. In that case, that's quite easy to remember. 25, 20, 18, and all the way down to 1. That's actually really easy to remember. I'm glad you pointed that out now. I can give a little bit of insight. So here we go then, guys. We are moments away from the start of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Drivers trying to keep their tyres as warm as they possibly can here. It'll be pivotal to the opening lap how they can keep these temps up, because obviously if you're able to keep them in a good window over the course of the formation lap, then you'll be like a rocket off of that start line. So here we go then. Drivers just lining up in their grid spots, and we are seconds away from the beginning of round 2 of 14 for season 15 here at the Red Arrows F1 League. Brandon here is going to be looking to try and defend from Sniper C as soon as he can. It's a short run down to turn 1, but the thing is you've got a medium straight followed by a very long straight afterwards, so it doesn't really matter if you're able to defend into turn 1. It's all about the runs to turns 2 and 3. But here we go, lights coming on the head of the grid. We're about to go racing, and it is lights out and we're underway. And Mr. Brandon gets a very good start there, and he's well ahead into turn 1. As Sniper C coming under pressure from the outside from Bo. Bo gets alongside and around the outside here as they're side by side now down towards turn 2. Is Bo going to get around him? Sniper C's got that one covered off for the time being, and maintains second place here. We've got Jam here moving a couple of places here up into 7th place, but it's very clean at the moment from the front, guys. And it looks like Brams and Onesie are having a battle there, but Onesie's gone ahead up into P11 as we see side by side. We've got a McLaren here looking around the outside of Onesie. Volungus there trying to make that move, and it's up the inside here into the next corner. We've got somebody ghosting there in the foreground, as that was McCarty there, who was trying to stay ahead. We got Alexander dropping down the order a little bit here. Pavlison has moved up into 13th place as Onzi and has moved ahead of McCarthy. McCarthy's dropping down the order here, down to 11th place. Has got a McLaren up his inside as well, and that McLaren there backs out Angry Guns, but Volungis there moving up into P10 at the moment. I'm going to keep calling them the points paying positions here, but please do ignore me because that's just me in such a habit. But Angry Guns has made a mistake. Angry Guns has lost it coming through the castle section, and Angry Guns down to P20 as ZX Tenor has also had a moment there on the exit of the castle. I think maybe ZX Tenor might have got caught out in Angry Guns' incident there, so those two are well off at the back of the pack at the moment. They're the only two to have really any major casualties on this first lap, but Angry Guns and ZX Tenor down to 19th and 20th places respectively here on this opening lap. We've got McCarthy here dropping down the order like a stone at the moment, and has had a big mistake there. McCarthy there missing the front left and front right end plate, so McCarthy down to P18. So lots of drivers in the wars here. McCarthy, Angry Guns and ZX Tenor all having struggles here on this opening lap. But Brandon leading into turn one. There's Sniper C, Bo and Brad, your top four. Archie there just behind ahead of Youngie and Jam. Bit of a gap back to Onesie there in P8 ahead of Bram and Volungis. As we can see, we've got Haas looking on the back of Clen here. So Clen running in 13th with Jay-Z hunting him down at the moment. Had a little look into turn one, but wasn't really close enough to put him under any real pressure there, as McCarthy and ZX Tenor both in the pits at the end of lap one. So that has gone an absolute total disaster for those guys. Angry Guns has stuck with it for the time being, despite being the one that I would have thought would have had the most trouble there, being that he bent it into the castle section. But saying that, who knows what damage was incurred from that. But nonetheless, back to leaders here. We've got Brandon, Sniper C, Bo and Brad all within DRS of each other at the moment, so if they can all stay within a second of each other, we're going to see a big long train here battling out over the lead of the race. Also, we better get the tyre graphic up, because that's going to really give us an indication of what strategies people are on, how long people can go into this first stint, when they're going to be pitting, etc, etc. Jam's put the hard tyres on, so has Volungis. Jordan as well on the hard tyres, up to P12 at the start, so he's in a good position right now. Jay-Z and we've got Boo, Angry Guns also on the hards. McCarthy and ZX Tenor have fitted the hards after their first lap calamities, so interesting to see that there's a bit of a mix-up in terms of strategy here tonight. It's not almost everyone doing the same thing. There is a real split as to what people are thinking is going to be the quickest way around here tonight. As Brandon here leading by over a second now, so crucially here is broken DRS, and Sniper C is going to be extra vulnerable to these guys behind him because he hasn't got DRS to defend, and Bo's going to make the most of that, and now looks to the inside here coming down towards turn one. So Mark Bo into second place, and Brad's also going to try and follow him through here as well, but Brad a little bit too far away there going into turn one. Had a little think about it. Thing is though, that Sniper C is going to have DRS now on Bo, so that'll be able to help him defend here from Brad as they come down towards turn three, and Sniper C should be able to stay ahead of the Mercedes down towards turn three and maintain third place. As we see the Salva there was looking on Bo going into turn three, but a little bit too far away at the moment. Liam says fast league this, Scott. It is indeed. Scott there voicing support for Clen in the chat as Jam has lost it. Where has Jam binned it? This could be a safety car here, could potentially be a safety car depending on where the car is, so we're just going to see if we can get a glimpse of where it is. It looks like it's already been cleared away, but safety car I believe is not out. Actually, it's not a safety car, is it? I don't think so. It looks like it's going to be recovered under what's it called, the other thing, VSC, that's the one. Yeah, I can't see a yellow dot going into turn one, so I think they're going to recover it under VSC, so no major dramas in terms of that at the moment. But Jam out of the race undoubtedly here on lap 3, which is early doors here. But there are the leaders. The top four currently separated by not very much at all. They did manage to gap Archie a little bit before that caution was called a moment ago, but Archie, Youngie not too far away, and then you've got a big gap back to Onesie, who's running in P7 at the moment with Bram not too far behind him. Jordan is up into P10, so Jordan's had an absolute flyer at the start to this race on those hard tyres. He's in a very good position indeed at this point in the Ferrari. And we are back underway, so green flag conditions once again. Brandon's gap almost 2 seconds now over Bo, so Brandon absolutely flying at this point in the race and seemingly untouchable in these early stages. As Sniper C is making a move here on Bo down the start finish straight. He's made that move easily before turn one, and Sniper C into second place. Brad will be looking to try and feast on these scraps as well, but Bo will now have DRS on Sniper C to try and defend, as we saw on the previous lap, but the other way around, with Sniper C being the hunted, now obviously the hunter, and having made that move into second place. I couldn't keep up here. Yeah, there's plenty going on, and 20 cars on the track, mate. It's honestly, well, it's amazing how much of a difference it makes when you have 14 or 15 cars on the track, and then you go to 20. You'd think it's not that much of a difference, but trust me, it's mad. And yeah, obviously as well, keeping up with the pace of these drivers in this lobby is insane. But yeah, Volungis here keeping Brams on his toes at the moment, as these guys running within a second of each other. Jordan is right there with them as well. So Volungis and Jordan in the prime positions here with these hard tyres. They're going to get some dividends towards the end of this stint, as their tyres will still be in good nick compared to these medium runners up ahead of them. But Brams is the only one in real striking distance. You've got the likes of Archie, Youngie and Onesie are too far ahead of them at the moment, really, to be in play. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of work to do for Volungis and Jordan, but you know, a well-timed safety car could really bring these guys into the mix, that's for sure. Still a long way to go here in this race, and we've got to keep an eye out for those guys. But for the time being, we've got a battle going on here for second place. Sniper C only 6/10 ahead of Bo as they're coming out of the final corner here, about to complete lap 4 of the race. We've got Bo here well within a second of Sniper C as they come down the start finish straight. And he's going to get a little bit closer down towards turn 1. It's going to be close here because he's not right off. He's right. He wasn't right on him coming out of the final corner, so he's going to have a chance. He's going to be a little bit too far back against turn 1, and Sniper C holds on for the time being. Nothing doing there for Bo. But yeah, he wasn't a million miles away, but he wasn't exactly all over him going out of the final corner, so he wasn't quite able to get close enough. But Bo now with a second set of DRS down towards turn 3, and is that going to be another chance for him? Brad is closer to Bo than Bo is to Sniper C. We've got Phil Addis in the chat. Hello mate, good to see you, Phil. Been ages, how are you? I see a lot of old faces here tonight. Welcome along, DJ Phil. But Brad was unable to make that move there on Bo going into turn 3, so for the time being sits in behind him. We've still got, in fact, Volungis has got ahead of Bram up into 8th place, although Volungis has now got a penalty, so that's going to hurt him at the end of the race. Obviously, he's been a bit aggressive with the track limits, and there's a long way to go, so he's got a lot of laps to try and keep himself clean, which is going to be a real, I think it's going to be a bit of an impediment here for him tonight. Hopefully he can try and keep things a little bit more tidy over the course of the next 21 laps that he did in the first 5. But that doesn't bode well at the moment for him. How are you doing? Anything with the ACC? Not with ACC at the moment. I'm thinking maybe Project Motor Racing when it comes out. That one I'm keeping an eye on. With F1 I might be doing something on a Sunday. I'm thinking about that. Again, I don't know if I will, because I really like being able to just commentate rather than having to organise. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye out. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow or in a week. So yeah, it's difficult to know. But yeah, definitely I'm keeping an eye on Project Motor Racing. That's one that I'm considering running a couple of leagues on maybe at the weekend, if possible. But Bo's moved ahead of Sniper C up into 2nd place. Brad is still right on the back of these guys. Brad now looking to the inside into turn 2, a little bit too far away there, or he'll get DRS. But the thing is, they'll both get DRS on Bo down towards turn 3, so they're all going to be towed along a little bit here. But we've got a conversation going on in the chat, which I'm struggling to keep up with all the action going out on the track at the moment. But at the moment, Sniper C is still tucking in behind Bo for the time being. As we've got, what's happened here? So we've got, hold on, Volungis has dropped down the order. So I think Volungis has made a mistake and is down to P16. So Jordan's now the highest runner who started on the hard tyres, ahead of Boo Boo, Angry Guns. Volungis has now crashed out. He has binned it. So I think we've got a safety car. I can see a yellow dot coming in through turn 1. So yeah, safety car is out here, and that's going to mix up the strategy massively. You can do whatever you want, Andy, as long as I don't lose my... What's your... I can't see the rest of what you wrote. I saw Co. I couldn't see the rest because obviously I'm on remote play. Can you type the rest? Can you type whatever came after Co? Please, Liam. Sorry. But yeah, we're currently on a safety car here, guys, so the drivers are just coming around the final couple of corners, and then they'll meet the safety car probably before turn 3, I would have thought, looking at the speed that it's doing right now. Looks pretty stationary to me. So our driver's going to come into the pits and put the hard tyres on. I would have thought the hard tyres might go to the end from here. Baku can be an unpredictable one with tyres. Obviously we saw 2021 being a prime example. And yeah, oh, look at that from Brandon. That was brilliant. Liam says, oh, I see what you mean. You're saying, yeah, I can do what I want. No, I wouldn't do it on Monday, Tuesday or Thursday. If I was going to run leagues or, on my server, I'd do probably Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday would be the leagues I'd run on my server. I'm thinking maybe Sunday for F1, maybe Project Motor Racing on Wednesday and Saturday. But nothing's for definite yet, obviously, and I don't know if I really want to be doing 6 days a week yet. I was doing it a few years ago. I don't know if I'm up to it now. I was a lot younger a few years ago, so I don't know if that's going to be on the cards. But we'll see. I might get back into it again, but I can't. I don't know if I can do 6 days. But yeah, I'll probably be doing at least 4 days a week. Be nice to do. I think 4 nights a week. I found that was a sweet spot. Maybe not too long ago. 3 just doesn't feel fulfilling enough. 5 is a bit excessive. I found that 4 nights a week commentating was about right. It allowed me to still have my voice. Because trust me, when I was doing 6 nights a week, like I had no voice, and it was just croaky, like blabbering. I sounded like I was just rambling all the time. I mean, it sounded like that anyway. But yeah. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was yeah, for the Sunday one. It'll probably be a mix of purple sector and red arrows. Maybe we could do a realistic car performance league, do it like a handicap. I don't know, again, it'd be quite hard to implement fairly, but that'd be quite a cool thing. I don't know, I know a lot of people are completely turned off by that. I race 5 days, yeah. I wouldn't mind racing 5 days. I haven't got a wheel at the moment. No, to be fair, back when I used to commentate 6 days a week, on the other day I used to race. So I'd commentate 6 days a week, and then I'd have one race night. So every single night was sim by just racing pretend cars. There was nothing else to me for a long time. During COVID I didn't do anything else, literally. Yeah, but yeah, racing 5-6 days, it's pretty serious business. But I tell you what, when you commentate 6 nights a week, your voice does go. I mean, completely. I found that I was a croaky mess. I've been doing it for about a year at one point, and my words just wouldn't come out the same. And after I took a few months off, and I felt back to my normal self again. It just took a few months for me to feel like a normal person again. But anyway, guys, here we are, currently under safety car. I think we should be getting going again at the end of this lap. It does appear that most of the pack are here. We've got, I think, McCarthy 20 seconds off at the back. That's more than, well, that's not too much. So he's got more than enough time over the course of the rest of this lap to catch up to the pack. ZX10 about 30 seconds off. I think that's taking into account racing speeds, so should be a lot less than that. So we should hopefully be getting going at the end of this lap, and we'll be back getting some racing action underway here at the Red Arrows F1 League. What steering wheel are you looking at getting? I don't know yet. First I need my own place. Once I got my own place, then I can get a desk, and then a chair, and then a wheel. So that's the plan. In yeah, place, desk, wheel, in that order. But once that's sorted out, I don't know, I might even just go back to what I had before in G29. It's nice and cheap and reliable. You can drive quick with it. So I might just go with my old reliable, to be honest. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's got to be the obvious choice, hasn't it? Oh, I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to make that commitment yet. I don't know. Something about console gaming. I prefer it. Liam says, great comms as always. I really appreciate your work. No, thank you. I really, I mean this honestly. I really appreciate the fact that you let me do this, because this is a really good league. It's a really fast league as well. This is. You got some cracking drivers in here, and that it's always so clean. It makes it a lot easier. And there's some leagues where, like this one on Purple Sector isn't as quick as this one. There's no doubt, but both of these leagues, the drivers are very, very clean. And when you've got tidy action on the track, it makes you feel like you're watching a real race, which then makes it a lot easier to put yourself into that mindset of delivering a professional commentary. I'm G29, exactly the same here, Liam. That's what I used to use. I sold it a couple of years ago because I wasn't using it, but in my head I'll always have a G29, and that will probably be what I get when I get back into racing. Once I've got somewhere to put it, that's going to be the plan, is to get a G29 again. I mean, the thing is, they work for everything. They're not too expensive and they're not too high tech. You don't need a rig or anything. You can just clamp it to the desk if you want. It's a pick up and play wheel essentially. I started with a G29. I've gone down the rabbit hole since then. Oh, don't tell me, Jeff. What is it? Fanatec, Thrustmasters, something fancy, I bet, isn't it? I'm not even in the loop anymore. I don't even know what a good wheel is anymore. That's how long it is. I've been over 2 years since I've even turned a wheel. I've played F1 on the controller and got reasonably decent at it. I could never play with a controller until I tried earlier this year. I'd never even bothered to, because I just thought to myself, well, I'm not going to bother trying to learn to race on the controller, because when I get a wheel, I'm not going to need that knowledge. But it's got to the point now where it was so long where I hadn't raced that I just thought, you know what, screw it, I'm going to try and learn how to race on the controller, even though I'd never raced on the controller since I was about 8. And I just picked up the controller and was okay with it. I started racing on 105 AI on the F1 game, and it was kind of working, so I thought, why not? Yeah, well, the controller is even more cheap and reliable, Liam, but the G29 is a good alternative if you want to have some sort of semi-professional setup, but definitely not up there with the best. Not a sim set, not a esports setup, but a sim setup, a very solid sim setup. VRS DD wheel based cube control wheels, Fanatec V3 inverted pedals, and a few other bits. Jesus, a hybrid of sim racing concoctions. I was rapid on controller but no enjoyment in it. Liam said, yeah, it's not the same, is it? It's not the same. I have to sit right up to the TV to feel any sort of satisfaction driving on the controller. But here we go then, coming up towards turn 1, we're back underway here, and it's Jordan who has decided not to pit. So Jordan Hillier taking a big gamble here, roll of the dice, is going to be on worn tyres compared to the rest of these guys, but if we get another safety car, he could be in a good position here. So here we go then, we're coming out of turn 2. Brandon's already got the run here on Jordan. This is surely going to be easy pickings here on these fresher tyres. Brandon already up into the lead, ahead of Jordan coming down towards turn 3. That is job done there for the Red Bull. We saw a bit of contact there. I think that was Sniper C going into the back of Mark Bow going into turn 3, but no dramas. Didn't look like there was any major damage there for any of those guys. Brad is on the back of Sniper C now in this fight for 4th place, as he's looking all over him here, looking to the outside, but he can't make that one happen there. Sniper C holding on to 4th place. We've got Angry Guns there and Lycorius fighting over P10 as Angry Guns has got around the outside up into 10th place. You've got Hicklin here looking all over the back there of Lycorius, but a little bit too far back towards the corner before the castle section. So the drivers all staying as they are at the moment. Brandon out the front with a gap of a second and a half over Jordan at this moment in time. So Brandon is already managing to get on with this here. Has lit up his tyres beautifully on this opening lap of the restart. Bo's going to be wanting to get on with this as quickly as possible here, because he knows he's losing time to Brandon. The longer he stays behind Jordan, the more this is going to hurt his race in the long run here. Brandon is slipping away into the distance at the moment, so he needs to really put his finger out to his Bo at this moment in time. Liam says, anyway, got to go. I actually need to do some work. No, you don't. Come on, stay and watch the race. No, it's all right. Go on. Work hard and earn that dough. We've got Bo here making a move here on Jordan, or is he? Because Jordan's got incredible straight line speed. Look at that. Sniper C is looking now to the inside. He's got nowhere to go as he's going to try and go to the inside here. As he goes, sends it up the inside there of Jordan. Jordan has got worse tyres and can't do much, but Bo slipped around the outside into second place with a lovely move there on those guys. Bo up into P2. Jordan trying to hold on ahead of Brad, but he can't do so, and Brad finally gets up into third place. Jordan, though, still on the outside, is trying to keep himself there as Archie slipped around Sniper C there up into P5. Archie now up the inside of Jordan as well up into fourth place, so with great straight line speed there, Archie has gained 2 places. But Jordan there is down to P5 and is really struggling on those worn out tyres. Sniper C also losing out massively in that, getting caught out behind Jordan. Has now finally cleared the Ferrari up into 5th place, but he made heavy weather of that, and he's now a long way behind the podium places here. So Jordan is running in P6 now, but Sniper C well out of position due to not making the easiest of inroads there. But Brandon out the front, 2.5 seconds the gap to Bo. Bo has got work to do if he wants to win this race. But a long way to go still. Have we got another caution? We've got a BSC, I think, but no safety car. And so we've lost Pavlis, Volungis and Jam so far from this race. We've had a few cars with damage, but not damage that was worthy of their race ending so far anyway. So there they all are, coming out of the final corner here on lap 11 of the race. We've got Hickley in there looking to the inside of Angry Guns, but was too far away going into that final corner. Brandon here coming over the line to complete the 11th lap of the race. Gap now just under 3 seconds to Bo. There's Brad just over a second behind him. As we've got, oh my goodness, we've got 3 wide here in the background. Wow. There's Youngie there moving ahead of Onzi, and both of them have got ahead of Jordan now. So Youngie there running in P6 as Jordan's got Brams looking around his outside here, coming on the exit of turn 1, and that's going to be jobbed on, I think, for Brams. Yes, it is. So Brams up into 8th place with that one. Youngie and Onzi are here battling over P6. Onzi looking pretty racy here on the back of Youngie as they now come down towards turn 3. Is this going to be a move here for position? No, he backs out of it. So, oh no, he doesn't. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong battle there. My goodness me. So he's around the outside there of turn 3 and up the inside for turn 4. And I think Youngie's going to, no, he's not going to have it done there. As Onzi there driving brilliantly. Brams is able to pick up the pieces and move ahead of Youngie up into P7 there. So Onzi managing to hold on to that one for the time being, and actually his rival there for P6 lost the position to the Alpine there of Onzi, who managed to slip through up into Brams, even the Aston Martin of Brams, sorry, should I say. It was the Alpine of Onzi that was in front of them before. But in the meantime, the battle for the podium places is starting to heat up a little bit. Sniper C's managed to make some inroads here on Brad and Archie as these guys battle it out over 3rd and 4th places. He's definitely brought himself back into this fight for sure. Saying a couple of laps ago, obviously he got held up a little bit behind Jordan, who was struggling on those worn out tyres, but right now Sniper C looks very much in range here to give these guys a bit of a fight here for 3rd place. Brad currently leading this trio as they come through the final couple of corners here, but Archie definitely within striking distance with the DRS. Is he going to have a chance? Sniper C is closer to Archie than Archie is to Brad, but Archie's got the advantage of having a car in front of him who is defenceless with no DRS, and he's got good straight line speed as well, as Archie now makes the move to the outside and is going to get this move into turn 1. Archie into the podium places there without any particular dramas. But maybe Brad might fancy a comeback here coming down towards turn 3, because he's going to have DRS of his own now as they get onto the power. Is he going to have a chance to make a move up the inside into turn 3? He's going to be quite close actually. Here he comes. The Mercedes getting some good run here, but just a little bit too far away, and Archie holds on to 3rd place for the time being, having got that move a few corners ago. So Archie now running in 3rd place has got that one done. Sniper C still waiting in the wings in the background in P5 as well, so could definitely be a factor here in this fight for the podium places. But I tell you what, it's looking like there isn't much of a fight out the front, mainly because Bo took about a lap longer to dispatch the Ferrari of Jordan, obviously on the restart, and that's given Brandon a real head start here. He's keeping the gap now at around 3 seconds. It's not really gone up since that opening lap of the restart, but that was absolutely crucial, and that could have won him the race here, especially if we don't have another safety car. It could be that could have been game, set and match there for Brandon, just in that one sort of lap after that restart. There is Bo currently running in 2nd place. Bit of a gap to Archie, Brad and Sniper C. These three still fighting over the podium places. Onzi, Brands and Youngie there battling for P6, Lycoris, Hicklin, Jordan. There's Clen in P12 ahead of Angry Guns, Boo Boo, Jay-Z. There's Alex Tenor and McCatty rounding out the pack at the moment. But here is the fight for third place as we go back to Archie, Brad and Sniper C as they're coming down to start finish straight. And here comes Brad. He's going to look to the outside now as Archie tried to make it hard for him, but Brad certainly didn't struggle at all, did he? Up into third place he goes. Sniper C had a little look there on Archie into turn 1, but was too far away. And Onzi has moved ahead of Brams up into P6. So that's a move done there from the Alpine on the Aston Martin up into 6th place he goes. Youngie is waiting in the wings as well. So this is definitely still a three-way battle here for P6. But yeah, Onzi there has made that one stick there up into P6. And the battle for third place still rages on. In the meantime, Boo Boo has moved ahead of Angry Guns up into 13th place. Clen has got around Jordan up into 11th on those fresher tyres. Jordan is going backwards at the moment, and his gamble there really has not paid off at all. Although, maybe he's trying a one-stop here, because I reckon these drivers who put the hards on, they should be able to go to the end, but they're going to have very worn-out tyres. So if Jordan longs it out for a couple more laps, could put the mediums on and maybe go to the end, which could be an advantage towards the end of the race. Jordan might be able to pick up some places in the last few laps. That could be one to watch, but for the time being he is pretty helpless at the moment as he tumbles down the order, currently in P12. But we're currently watching still the battle for third place, Brad, Archie and Sniper C as they're coming through the final few corners here. Archie still keeping himself in striking distance here on the back of the Mercedes. And Sniper C will be there to pounce and ready if anything happens in front with these two. So here we come then through the final corner once again, and down the start finish straight here at Baku. So it's going to be all of them constituting up once again. Archie here's got the DRS and getting closer and closer to the back of Brad, but not quite close enough into turn 1. Brad's going to still be in third place for the time being. Oh, massive lock up there from Brad, but didn't really cost him at all there. Seemed to very smoothly run through the corner regardless of that big lock up there. Jordan's in the pits at the end of lap 14, so I imagine medium tyres to the end of the race there for Jordan. But we're currently still watching this battle for third place, and Sniper C, they're having a little look to the inside into turn 3, a little bit too far away just for the time being. Onzi, Brams and Youngie still fighting over P6 at the moment. And Jordan has come into the pits for a set of medium tyres. He was a bit long in that pit lane. Was he held up in the pits? I'm not sure. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, I could just be imagining it. I think I probably am, to be honest with you. I don't know, it just seemed like a long pit stop. I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't. Who knows? I really don't know. Apologies if it wasn't, but just seemed like he was there for a while. But anyway, the gap currently extending a little bit, probably about a tenth a lap, maybe a tenth and a half a lap between Brandon and Bo. Brandon's definitely got the edge over Bo, but I tell you what, if Bo hadn't have had that struggle getting ahead of Jordan on the opening lap of the restart, I reckon he probably could have stayed in the DRS and we'd have probably had him putting Brandon under a bit of pressure here. But it's the way it goes sometimes. Obviously in racing you can't always get the clearest of passages to whatever success you seek. But Archie nonetheless here on the back of Brad as they come down the start finish straight, and with DRS open he's going to now look to the inside and he should be able to breeze past him here up into the podium places once again. Sniper C in the background there, not really close enough to be a factor there into turn 1. Onzi, Youngie there in the background. Brams is coming into the pits, so Brams is going for a two. Oh, he's retired. Brams is out of the race, so what has happened there to Brams I'm not quite sure, but that is his race done, which is quite peculiar. I'm not really sure why. We've got somebody off at turn 2 as well, I think. Is somebody off at turn 2? I'm sure somebody's off at turn 2. Was that Sniper C? It is. Sniper C has binned it there. So what on earth happened there going into turn 2? I saw he was parked up on the exit through that runoff area on the map. So Sniper C's had a big off there and is now down to P10. Was that due to a battle there for third place? Obviously we saw him battling before with Archie and Brad, but clearly Sniper C's had a bit of a mare and down to P10, so that's a disaster there for the Kick-Sauber driver. His teammate still running in 6th place at the moment, Youngie, on the back of Onzi at this moment in time. But Brad in the meantime has moved back ahead of Archie up into third place as these guys still fight it out over the podium places. Onzi's definitely closing in on these guys. I wonder if there was a bit of an incident involving those drivers as they were battling, but nonetheless, bit of chaos here at this stage in the race. But Archie's still on the back of Brad as they're coming through the final couple of corners here. Less than half a second separating them. There's Archie here with DRS is going to get a little bit closer here to the back of Brad. So he looks to the outside, but Brad looks pretty comfortable there as they go into turn one once again. We've got McCarthy here on the back of ZX10er. As they come down the start finish straight, that's going to be an easy job there for McCarthy up into P12. Clen's in the pits now at the end of lap 16. So he's going to be going for probably a fresh set of mediums to the end of the race. No, he's gone for the hards, okay. Well, that's a bit peculiar because he was already on the hards. So, or was he? I don't know, I'm sure he was already on the hards. I would have thought that the mediums would be the better choice over a 10 lap stint, but clearly Clen, either he's out of mediums or he doesn't agree. I'm not sure which one it is, but anyway, Clem back out on the track in P14 for the time being. Archie still keeping Brad on his toes in this battle for third place. Gap between Brandon and Bo continuing to increase bit by bit. Currently nearly 5 seconds now, so Brandon's actually starting to really up the tempo here out the front and is looking almost untouchable at this point. Onzi there is now within a second of Brad and Archie, so he's absolutely flying at the moment, is Onzi. Certainly in the fight for the podium places. Brad and Archie have been giving it everything over the last few laps. They might have been slowing each other down a little bit, but Onzi's been just quietly plugging away here in 5th place and could definitely be a factor in this battle. But Brandon out the front with a gap just under 5 seconds over Bo at the moment. And we got Archie in the pits as well now, so Archie's coming in at the end of lap 17. So a lot of the drivers who put the hards on during that first safety car period have now come in, I imagine, for scheduled pit stops. So a lot of these drivers think that it's a 2-stop at least. Archie's put the mediums on, those will take him to the end. But it is a risk, as we've seen on F125 since it came out, obviously in May. We've seen quite a few times so far on this game that tyres can go off or can puncture very unexpectedly. Once you get over about, I think, 60%, they can just go. Although it's very rare and the probability is extremely low, they can just go after a certain point. So there is a point where you have to start thinking about changing tyres. But you can also get away with running them long. It's just a bit of a lottery, really, to be honest. I don't know if it has much to do with driving style or if it's just mainly luck, to be honest. But you can sometimes get away with running them long, but sometimes the chancing it will end up biting you on the bum. But nonetheless, Brandon's still out the front. He's gapped 5 seconds over Bo, looking in cruise control at the moment. I don't want to, sorry Brandon, I don't want to put any curses on you, but at this point I think we need a bit of drama in the race. Anyway, Onzi's still within a second of Brad at the moment. As they come down the start finish straight, it will get him a little bit closer. He's not close enough to make a move, but he's certainly close enough to keep Brad looking in his mirrors a little bit here, as into turn one they go. So Brad for the time being holding on to third place. There's Youngie in the background, Lycorius keeping Hicklin at bay for the time being. Sniper C now into the pits. Obviously I made that mistake a few laps ago, was in a battle for the podium with Brad and Onzi for a while, but then went wide at turn 2 a few laps ago, and that's really put paid to his chances here of battling for a really strong points paying position. Could still get some good points nonetheless. Obviously you get points all the way down to 15th place here at the Red Arrows F1 League. You get 25 for a win, 20 for second, 18 for third, and then all the way down to no, is it P20? Oh, do you know what? No, I'm gonna have to look at it again. Sorry, Super Striker. I know he put it in the chat, but I need to. What I need to do is I need to have this info to hand and ready. But anyway, it's not that important. It's not that important, but it would help. But anyway, Onzi still in the back of Brad at the moment in this fight for third place, as these guys are coming through towards the final sector at the moment. And Onzi's still putting this pressure on the back of the Mercedes. He's a little bit closer this time around. It might allow him to have a chance coming down the start-finish straight. But he's certainly going to be able to keep him guessing a little bit. I tell you what, he's definitely within range. Although the gap's just going up a little bit through this part of the track. He's got yeah, that grip through the high speed sections there. Seems like Brad's got a much better grip through that part of the track, but Onzi now with DRS will be able to get a little bit closer here, but still a little bit too far away to make a move into turn 1. It will get him within striking distance for turn 3 though in a couple of corners time. So here we go, Onzi all over the back of the Mercedes here. This is for a podium place. Obviously we've already seen Archie come into the pit, so Archie's gone for an undercut, or potentially these guys might not be pitting and they could have absolutely shot tyres at the end. Archie's flying, running in P8. He'll be hunting these guys down towards the end, but for the time being Onzi looking to the inside there on Brad into turn 3. Still a little bit too far away at the moment, nothing doing, and Brad holding on to third place at this moment in time. Sniper C still running in P11 at the moment with Jordan all over him, as these guys 7/10 apart. But Sniper C has just come into the pits on fresh tyres as well, so I think he might have just made that move. He should be able to pull away quite comfortably at this point, you would think. Although Jordan's tyres are going to be still pretty good at this point as well. Jordan might fancy hunting down McCarthy, who's probably, well, he's on very worn tyres, might have to pit again. The likes of Lycorius and Hicklin might be on Jordan's radar here, although they might be a little bit too far away. So I don't know, my masses, my intuition's telling me that I think Hicklin and Lycorius might be a step too far, but I think McCarthy has got to be on Jordan's radar at this point. As Clen here is absolutely hassling the back of McCarthy, and Clen driving a very solid race tonight in a 20 car grid. He's currently knocking on the door of 9th place at the moment. He'll be looking to try and make this move down the start finish straight. McCarthy on very worn tyres. This should be a formality here for Clen. And I'll tell you what, if the likes of the guys ahead like Lycorius and Hicklin, who are about 10-12 seconds up the road from Clen, these guys aren't pitting, Clen will be absolutely tearing after them. If they are pitting, Clen will be able to get ahead of them. So either way, Clen should be able to at least put them under some pressure here towards the end of the race. If they were to pit now, they'd come out a couple of seconds behind Clen with much fresher tyres. But are they alive to that? Are they paying attention to that timing board? Because I'm sure they've got their sights set further up than that, with the likes of Youngie not too far ahead, as well as Onzi. But for the time being, Clen up into 9th place, making that move down the start finish straight there on McCarthy. Gap at the front between Brandon and Bose not really gone up actually. Bo's been keeping the gap pretty solid. Again, it was really that first lap after the restart that decided it, but since then Brandon has been consistently quicker. I reckon he probably would have had the win anyway, but yeah, for sure. I think maybe he might have been able to ease up a little bit as well because of the fact that he's had that buffer. But we will never know. We'll never know. But Brad currently with a 3-second penalty, so has just picked up that for track limits, which is going to be actually a real pivotal factor here, because Onzi within a second, so that now will take the pressure off Onzi a little bit, and knows that it doesn't need to get ahead of Brad, just needs to stay within that 3-second region, and he'll get the podium place regardless. Youngie's not too far away from these guys, so Youngie could be there to put pressure here, especially if Onzi starts resting on his laurels. Are any of these guys going to come into the pits, or are they all now committed to this one-stop strategy? They're all staying out for the time being by the looks of it. So I don't think at this point we're going to see them coming in. Archie in the background's lining up Hicklin for 7th place, and he's going to get that move done easily down the straight up into 7th place. Archie currently about 10 seconds off of a podium place with 5 laps left, so 2 seconds a lap. He's got 11 lap fresher tyres. He's on the faster compound, but the compound that's less durable. So it could be that in the last couple of laps his tyres will not have that massive advantage that they have currently, because of the fact that the guys ahead of him are on the hards. So it could be that once we get to the last couple of laps, they might not be able to make the moves as easily as he is right now. But who knows how it's all going to pan out. Still a fair way to go here at Baku. Still at least 12 miles to go in this race. But Brandon out the front has been bossing it, and if the first 21 laps have told us anything, it's that he's definitely got to be a contender for the championship this season. Obviously, he's I think he's won the championship before. I'm pretty sure he has. If he hasn't, I do apologise. But Brandon obviously will be putting a lot of pressure on Super Striker here tonight, because Super Striker not here, unable to make it because of work, which is going to really set him back in the championship point standings. He'll be hoping that Brandon at some point this season will have to miss a round. But Brandon at the moment in cruise control out the front, nearly 6 seconds the gap over Bo at this point, and he's just ticking down the laps until the checkered flag here. There's Bo, 5 seconds clear of Brad, who's now got 2 seconds back to Onzi. Onzi, has he stepped off the gas a bit, knowing that the penalty's there for Brad, or has Brad got the hammer down and maybe throwing caution to the wind a little bit with that penalty? I don't know. But Youngi's looking pretty close on Onzi at the moment. Archie's picked off Lycorius up into P6, so can now try and chase down the podium runners here. Is currently about 7.5 seconds behind Brad, so is gaining about 2.5-3 seconds a lap. That would put him on the back of these guys on the final lap. But with those less durable medium compound tyres, are they still going to be in a good enough state to be able to make some overtakes on the final lap? Because he's going to have a few drivers in his way here, that's for sure. And Archie's got 4 seconds until he'll find Youngie up the road, so he's got a little way to go yet. Needs to keep that focus. He's going to be quite lonely over the next couple of laps. We've got ZX10er out of the race. So ZX10er's crashed somewhere out there, or did he retire? Doesn't look like it's a safety car, so I think it was a crash, because we've got a VSC or a caution or something. But it's very quickly subsided and we're back underway racing again, so there was definitely no wasting of time there from the marshals or whoever. As that was a hiccup, I do apologise. But Brandon coming over the line here to start lap 24 of the race. So not very far in this race to go at all now. Bo there running in second place, 6 seconds behind. There's Brad there running in the final podium place. Youngie there has made the move on Onzi up into 4th place. Easy pickings there. Although Onzi looking to try and come back at him here down towards turn 1, but too far away. Youngie now into a net podium place with Brad having that penalty. Although, saying that, Brad has pulled a gap to these two. With these two battling, it might have given him a chance actually to get that podium despite the penalty here. So this could be crucial here for Brad if Youngie and Onzi start tripping over each other. Saying that, Onzi really is struggling. Last few laps, Onzi's pace has dropped off massively. I don't know if, because Onzi really did tear after the likes of Brad, Archie and obviously Sniper C before Sniper C made the mistake. Onzi was really tearing after them, and I wonder if he just took too much life out of the tyres, because he's been on his tyres the same amount of time as these guys, but maybe he was just pushing a bit too hard in the middle part of the race, and that could have cost him here. But yeah, Archie's currently only 2 seconds behind Onzi at the moment. Archie's about 5 seconds off of 5.5 seconds off of a podium place, and gaining about 3 seconds a lap, or at least if past his prologue is still gaining at 3 seconds a lap. So let's keep an eye on Archie here as we're approaching the closing stages of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at the Red Arrows F1 League, because he could still be on for a podium, could definitely be on for Brad's position, but whether or not he can get ahead of the guys in between himself and Brad, we'll have to see, because Brad with that 3 second penalty, it's going to be an invitation. Wide open, oh, it's Archie, big mistake there coming out the final corner. That would have been very close there to being in the wall. Did well to hold on to that, but that moments like that might have just dented his confidence a bit. Is he going to keep pushing all the way to the flag here, or is he just going to say, you know what, I'm just going to take what I can here? Archie is going to be on the limit here. I think through these last couple of laps, if that is anything to go by, because that was oh so close there to being in the barrier, and that would have been not just his hopes of a podium, but his race probably in the bin. But Archie's still going, running in P6 right now, trying to hunt down the likes of Youngie and Onzi. Obviously Brad with the penalty could be an easy target here for Archie, but we're watching Brandon coming around the penultimate lap. The race leader, 6 seconds is the gap over Bo. He's been cruising in this last stint, as Brandon, to be fair, hasn't really looked in doubt at any point, and has just been gradually extending the gap over Bo. Bo's been very solidly quicker than the likes of the guys behind him, like Brad, Youngie, Onzi, Archie, Sniper C, those sort of like those podium contenders. Bo's been a step above them, but a step below Brandon. He's just been in that midpoint, really. He's been best of the rest, but not quite on the level of the race leader. And it's been a lonely race for Mark Bow, it has to be said. But Brad's currently got the gap to 3 seconds over Youngie, so at this moment in time, Brad would hold on to third place. Thing is, though, he's got Archie tearing after him, but Archie's got to dispatch these two, Onzi and Youngie, and that's not going to be easy, because with only 1 lap to go and only a couple of DRS zones to go, Archie's probably going to get one Onzi here, but is he going to be able to overtake Youngie and stay within 3 seconds of Brad? That's going to be a real challenge for him. So we're about to start the final lap of the race. Let's jump on board with Archie here, as we're going to come down the start-finish straight. He'll have DRS here, and he should be able to make the move on Onzi very easily here. Archie in that slipstream, getting closer and closer to the back of the Alpine, and this should be a move here that he's going to make quite routinely. Here we come then, over the line. So there we go, to the outside goes Archie, and up into 4th place around the outside with lovely grip there on those nice medium tyres up into P5. Now he's got 2 seconds up the road to Youngie, and is he going to be able to reel him in and pass him before the end? That's going to be quite tight here. 2 seconds the gap, we've got less than a lap to go. He might have to settle for P5 here, Archie. That could be a step beyond him here, but nonetheless it would be a decent performance, a good points haul. He took a gamble, he went for the risk of making that extra pit stop. I mean, you could say it was a safe choice. I think it was a gamble, because I think the hard tyres were more than likely going to do 20 laps, especially because 3 of those were under safety car. It was only 17 laps that you'd have to do on the hard tyres at racing speeds. I think that the pit stop was the gamble, which Archie did, and it was worth a try, but it doesn't appear to have paid off, not yet anyway. I mean, we could see Brad and Youngie get punctures on this final lap, but don't want to tempt fate. Anyway, race leader Brandon coming into the final couple of corners here, got the gap at 8 seconds over Bo, so looking very comfortable here is Brandon for the race win, and a very well deserved race win as well, it has to be said. Brandon has never looked in doubt ever since the safety car period. Obviously didn't run off into the distance in the first stint, but ever since the safety car has just been a level above Mark Bow, and Brandon coming up towards the line is going to come to take the Azerbaijan Grand Prix round 2 of 14 here for season 15 here at the Red Arrows F1 League. It's Brandon who takes the checkered flag, and in the end a very convincing winner here tonight. It's going to be Bo to take 2nd place as he comes over there, just 2 seconds ahead of Brad in the end, and Youngie did get within the catchment there of Brad, so Youngie takes 3rd. And what about Archie? Archie P5, so Brad 4th, Archie 5th, Onzi over in 6th, with Lycorius finishing in P7 here tonight. Glenn is going to finish in 8th place, a great try from Glenn here, the champion of purple sector. Sniper C just holds off Hicklin there for 9th. Hicklin there taking home P10. McCarty and Boo Boo are going to fight it out to the flag here for 11th place. Who's going to get it? It's going to be close. Oh, it's going to be close, and McCarty just held on there by the skin of his teeth. So McCarty over in 11th with Boo Boo 12th. Jordan's going to come up towards the line in P13, just ahead of Angry Guns, so couldn't make the most of those medium tyres at the end there, could Jordan. Nonetheless, 13th place for Jordan ahead of Angry Guns in 14th. In fact, Hicklin has DNF'd, and yeah, I'm not quite sure how that happened, but anyway, that does appear to be that then for tonight, guys, for the Red Arrows F1 League. A really good race, really exciting race, lots of battles, lots of action, really clean stuff, and that was an absolute pleasure. Thank you ever so much, guys, and yeah, hopefully more of the same next week. Join us as always 8:15 UK time for the Red Arrows F1 League if you did enjoy, and if you're a friend, family member, or otherwise associate of any of the drivers, then definitely come and see what happens next, because it's looking like a fun league. I have to say, it's this season the drivers is a very, very high level in terms of pace and in terms of etiquette as well, so yeah, I'm sure we're in for a very, very good season. But that is that tonight for Red Arrows. If you want to tune in on my channel tomorrow night, Purple Sector will be live at 8 PM UK time. Some very clean, professional level etiquette drivers in that league, so definitely tune in if you're not busy doing anything tomorrow night. And yeah, cheers.